As the 2015 general elections approaches, it is important for all of us to make wise choices. Your vote is your power. Use it wisely. Do not vote for corrupt leaders. Good evening, Nigeria, and welcome to the program, The Eagle. My name is Aisha Gambari. Co-presenting with me is Aisha Mohammed. Hello.
Hi, Aisha. Hello, viewers, and thanks for joining us on the program.
EFCC will get you anywhere, anytime.
In Nigeria, when public servants attain the age of 60 years or have worked in the public service for 35 years, such officers are expected to retire from service. Upon their retirement, they are supposed to enjoy a number of benefits, one of which is the monthly pension to sustain their post-retirement life. But in Nigeria, that is not the case. Some retirees have died while waiting for their pensions, which sometimes end up in the pockets of a few corrupt officers. On today's edition of the program, we'll bring you a report on EFCC's efforts at bringing corrupt pension managers to book.
Also on our lineup today is the arrest of a syndicate of fraudsters who were nabbed in Umuahia after they attempted to break into the database of a financial institution. The Eagle team also conducted an interview with the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Abubakar III. What are the roles of traditional rulers and religious leaders in the fight against corruption? Is the EFCC winning the fight against economic and financial crimes in Nigeria? Kamili Gaby brings you answers to this and more on our special focus segment. Please stay tuned.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arrested an alleged syndicate of fraudsters for attempting to defraud various banks in the country by inserting a device called Grabber into the bank's computer system in order to copy account information of customers to defraud the account holders. The alleged fraudsters, Moses Onyema and Kenneth Iweha, were led by one Godwin Ojukwu, a 47-year-old property manager. Ojukwu, sometime in July 2013, allegedly approached one Onyema, a dropout from a university in Holland, with a deal to help source for insider information about any bank in Nigeria where accounts information could be harvested using the device. Onyema mentioned the deal to Kenneth Iweala, a member of his church who also sells motor parts at Lagos. 2 days later, Iweala announced that he has a friend called Mishak who works with Diamond Bank in Umuahia in Abia State. Thereafter, the trio traveled to Umuahia to meet Mishak and give him the grabber. The device was to be inserted into a computer within the bank to grab account details of customers with large deposits. The sum of 25 million naira was planned to be moved from each of the accounts if the grabber was able to pick account information. 4 accounts were targeted and the sum total of 100 million naira was to be moved from the parent account to other bank accounts, after which the group will share the funds in equal formula. Unknown to the alleged fraudsters, Mishak had informed the bank's management and they were rounded up at the hotel where they lodged. Ojukwu, who led the group, confessed to the crime. I am Thelma Eke, reporting for the Eagle.
Nigeria is the 6th largest producer of oil in the world. In over 50 years of oil exploration, the country has earned well over $600 billion as oil revenue. If properly managed, it should provide us with a health system that will save lives and not a decaying health system. A society where energy goes round for meaningful development and not an epileptic power supply system. A productive educational system and not a decaying educational system. A society where jobs are created for self-sustainability and not a society where our youth roam the streets unemployed. A highway of safety and security and not roads that lead us to early graves. We should have credible leaders who deliver dividends of democracy to the people and not corrupt leaders who divert our collective revenue for private use. Say no to corrupt leaders. See something. Say something. This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
A pension can be described as a series of regular payments given by an employer to employees who have served their required number of years in the service of such employer. It is supposed to serve as a fixed income for these retirees who have passed their time. Unfortunately, retirees in Nigeria don't enjoy the luxuries of stress-free pension. Quite a number of these men and women who have served their employers meritoriously have died in the process of pursuing their pension, while others endure a life of destitution. They are the victims of a band of fraudsters, particularly in the public service, who have turned pension funds into a gold mine and shamelessly lie in their pocket with the sweat and blood of their former colleagues. The EFCC has beamed its searchlight on this band of corrupt officers, with several of them under prosecution in courts across the country. A few weeks ago, the Commission arrested and arraigned one of such individuals, former Oyo State Head of Service Kudirat Adeleke, and 11 others before Justice Bolaji Yusuf of the Oyo State High Court sitting in Ibadan for allegedly mismanaging pension funds totaling about 5.6 billion naira meant for pensions and gratuities of retired teachers in Oyo State. The prosecution alleged that the accused persons withdrew the sum in bids from accounts belonging to the Oyo State Local Government Staff Pension Board between September 2010 and March 2011. Other defendants in the case, who are mostly senior officers of the Oyo State Pension Board, are Muilu Hakim Aderemi, Executive Secretary, Adedutan Johnson, Oguntayo Banji, former Internal Auditor, and Karim Rashid. Others are Muilu Adedamola, Adeshina Jimo Ayode, former cashier, Adebi Olasumbo Musendia, former admin officer, Johnson Bosede, Iyabo Giwa, former cashier, Adewale Kehinde, and Olajimi Adebayo. They, however, pleaded not guilty to the charges. They were denied bail by the trial judge, who held that, going by the gravity of the offense committed, the accused persons may attempt to jump bail. The accused persons have, however, appealed against the ruling. I am Zainab Sani Ahmed reporting for the Eagle.
EFCC will get you anywhere, anytime.
Welcome back. Next is the special focus segment with Kamili Gebi. On the segment this evening, the Eagle team interviewed the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Abubakar III. The report.
His Eminence, Alhaji Saad Abubakar III, the Sultan of Sokoto, is a revered ruler whose opinion carries the force of law. In this rare encounter, he reflects on the nation's efforts in fighting corruption and the performance of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in the fight against economic and financial crimes. The Sultan said the EFCC in its 10 years of existence has been able to create fear in the minds of people that when you go against the law, you shall be held accountable for it.
Well, I would like to congratulate the EFCC for blocking 10 years. 10 years in the life of any organization It's just like a starting point. And I believe EFCC must have done a lot of things that the entire public might say well done, or to most of the public, the onlookers in particular, might say well done.
What role do you think religious leaders can play in the fight against corruption?
Actually, there's not much religious leaders could do except constant preaching, constant guidance to the followers on what corruption is all about and how to really tackle this menace of corruption. As Muslims, our religion is a way of life for us. Whatever we are supposed to do, it's been really stated in our religion, in the Holy Quran and in the Sunnah of our noble leader, our Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And I think as a way of life, we have to really look at the general life of an individual. Religious leaders must always preach against evil things. Religious leaders must always try to guide the followers on the right path through preachings in the mosques or at preaching sessions, through their weekly sermons, especially on Fridays, and also by personal examples. Because personal examples of the religious leaders also count a lot.
How have you been able to maintain discipline and transparency within the caliphate?
Naturally, Islam is a way of life. All the do's and don'ts are in the Holy Quran and in the Sunnah of our noble leader, our Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And we have our judicial system. And of course, whenever there is any crime committed by anybody, it goes through the normal judicial system. And what we believe in is the stand of Islam on any criminal activity. And of course, it's not only criminal activities, any activity that is immoral, that is against Islam, must always do away with those activities. But our own system here, if you know as you know very well, we really don't have judicial powers to either try or try people on criminal cases or whatever, because we have a judicial system in our country, and all of us are under that judicial authority. So we don't really have any particular system to try culprits or suspected criminals. What we've always done is to do things lead by and also lead by example. We live a good life based purely on Islamic tenets. We lead our lives as enshrined in the Holy Quran.
Many have called for the establishment of special courts to try corruption cases. What is your view on this?
Actually, I don't subscribe to setting up special courts to try corrupt cases. What we need is to strengthen our judicial system, especially the judges and the lawyers. Because you know that there are so many lawyers there who really drag on these cases. Of course, we all know Maybe because the longer the cases stay, the more money they make. Yes. So I think both the MDA and the NJC should really come out with new methods, new ways of sanctioning such lawyers and judges, especially judges who really don't live up to their oath of office. Because what we need we need judges that are really strong, that are really faithful to their call, to their calling, that are judges that are God-fearing, and that, of course, being a judge, it means a lot. You are really like you are interpreting what justice is all about. And if you do wrong, you find that innocent people do suffer. If you do right, people will be happy with what you have done. So you have to be impartial. We need judges that are impartial. We need judges that are upright. We need judges that are not into worldly things.
A disturbing dimension to the corruption problem in Nigeria is that people amass wealth they do not really need. What could be responsible for this?
These are the issues that are really baffling to all of us, because people amass so much wealth in the world as though they will never leave the world, or when they die they will carry everything with them, knowing fully well that it's not so. Whatever you have here, you will leave it and then go and meet your maker. And I think the main problem as we see it is still loss of our value system, as you said. We have not really stood up to really practice our religions as we are supposed to. Because I know both Christianity and Islam have certain rules and regulations as regards you holding an office, or how you carry out yourself in discharging your duties in those offices. That is, whatever you do so with the fear of God, knowing that you will go back to your Maker. Now, if you do things with the fear of God, knowing that you will go back to Him, I believe so many issues that might come your way will be handled justly, be handled impartiality, be handled with transparency and accountability.
What is your perception of the EFCC towards the fight against corruption in the country?
People used to talk about the EFCC being a toothless bulldog because they cannot convict anybody and things like that. But I think what we have seen, what we have heard recently, that the mere mention of EFCC at any public forum or at any gathering, people suddenly become alert. And before, I think since the coming of EFCC in the country, there's awareness that EFCC can do this, can do that. So some people with criminal tendencies, think back or hold back and outrightly or openly do certain things. Because, in the past we used to have people that just do things the way they want. But now, mere mention of EFCC, they will now say, EFCC is there. So it means there is at least that, let me say, the EFCC coming on board in fighting corruption and other criminal activities, either economic or financial. I think it's a good moment in the country, and we must all put hands together to assist the Commission to discharge its mandate.
Can the fight against economic and financial crimes in Nigeria ever be won?
I think one of the best ways, I believe, is for the authorities to come up with very stringent laws and punishment as regards those found to be guilty of corruption and other economic crimes. We could give them a very long sentences that if by the time they come out, they really have nothing more to do in life. I am not an advocate of death sentence for corrupt officers, because for us in Islam, at least we know that death sentence is passed on to somebody who killed another person. And so if you have not killed somebody, I believe death sentence should not be meted out to you. But I believe a very, very strong sentence. I could advocate maybe up to 30, 40 years in prison without bail. Will really deter people from stealing public property that's meant for all.
Nigeria is rated as one of the most religious countries in the world, and at the same time, one of the most corrupt nations on earth. Isn't that an embarrassing paradox?
Nigeria is the 6th largest producer of oil in the world. In over 50 years of oil exploration, the country has earned well over $600 billion as oil revenue. If properly managed, it should provide us with a health system that will save lives and not a decaying health system. A society where energy goes round for meaningful development and not an epileptic power supply system. A productive educational system and not a decaying educational system. A society where jobs are created for self-sustainability and not a society where our youth roam the streets unemployed. A highway of safety and security and not roads that lead us to early graves. We should have credible leaders who deliver dividends of democracy to the people and not corrupt leaders who divert our collective revenue for private use. Say no to corrupt leaders. See something. Say something. This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
Glad to have you back. And on that note, we draw the curtain on today's episode of the program, The Eagle. Many thanks for watching, and God bless Nigeria.
To be part of this program, you can send your suggestions and comments via our Twitter handle @officialEFCC or leave a comment on our Facebook page officialEFCC/facebook.com. You can also watch EFCC activities on youtube.com/officialEFCC. I am Aisha Mohammed. Bye-bye.